Listen, McCooks, Mr. Bill, it's an honor to have you here. Trump was elected, and he's been in office for a year. He had to fight the news media, he had to fight the Democrats, and even the Republicans didn't join behind him. Inch by inch, though, he got 64 laws passed, many of them against the federal government's overbearing and bully tactics. He has done well, considering what he was up against. Be that as it may, 2018 is a new year and new battles to be fought. Some of the battles I hope he fights is to get rid of the penny, the nickel, and the dime and go to a one-coin currency of a quarter. Anything above goes to $1. In that name, I think we can go up and down on that, and we can save billions of dollars for the taxpayers, and businesses will appreciate not having to count all that small change, much of it made that costs more than what the actual currency is worth. I would also like to see him legalize buying drugs in Canada, medical drugs in Canada. What a great help that would be, saving us 30% right off the top of our medical costs. And many of us, especially getting older, our drugs are just devastating us financially. I'd like to see Trump open the borders to European drugs, medical drugs that are being used there, and bring them into the United States for tests, if not open sale. Because if they're working there and have a proven track record, get them over here and give us more options and perhaps a cheaper product to buy. We have a number of people locally here that tell me of devastating helicopter rides from one place to the hospital where they'll need to be treated. A 100-mile flight can cost $60,000 now. $60,000 for a flight to life, if you will, type thing. For 100 miles, that's almost $1,000 a mile. I have talked to a number of local pilots, though, that said they'll be more than glad to put anybody in their plane and fly them that 100 miles, and they'll do it for $1,000. So why is it 60 times higher for the hospital to do it than a private citizen to do it and get you there within 30 minutes? Yeah, I hope Trump looks into that and makes some kind of arrangement so that type of thing can be done, and a lot cheaper, because that's a devastating cost for many people. I'd like to see Trump put a 3-year plan to convert the cars back to user repair friendly, backyard mechanic friendly, if you will. That alone would strengthen the government and the people in a time of crisis, a day after event. If you could repair your own cars rather than when they break down, they're nothing. Nobody can fix them local. Yeah. The United States has more people in prison than any other country in the world. More people in prison. The downside of that is at $30,000 each. It's devastating the nation. There are options. And one option is to simply put a tattoo on that said person and kick them out of country for the time period of their prison sentence for nonviolent criminals that could go outside the United States and live outside the United States for that time period. The best thing you can do to an enemy is never see them again. 30 years outside the prison, outside the system, saving $30,000 a year, you bet. That money could be spent someplace else a lot better, or used to pay off our national debt. Another law that would be very good for the nation is a bad neighbor law. Almost every community has one, and it's very simple. If you have 4 complaints against you with video proof of each that you are a bad neighbor, you must leave your rental property and move out of the state. If you own property, you must sell and get out of that state. And if by chance you're kicked out of 2 states, you lose your American citizenship and are kicked out of the country. I would finish with this. The federal government has a stranglehold, a bully stranglehold, over 50% of the land in western states. Trump opened up a little bit of it just to be able to go on the property. I think what we need to do, though, is open up 30% of it. 30% to homesteading. To homesteading 30% of the lands that are presently owned by the federal government, and nothing is done with it. Nothing is done with it. That Homesteading Act alone would bring in millions of people to work the land. And it can be only a positive thing, as it was 130 years ago when they opened up homesteading at the beginnings, to bring the people to the land and to get rid of the land barons. You bet. Thank you for your time, Mr. Trump, and to you YouTubers. God bless you, and let's all have a safe and happy New Year.